Yo, yo, yo. It's your boy Hood Nerd, and we back again. Today we're going to speak about the Miya Ponsetto interview she had with Gayle King, and the statement in that interview that troubled me more than anything. And that would be that her saying, why is the accusation a crime? What's wrong with her accusing? She didn't do anything wrong accusing him of that. And see, first I want to start off with her attorney on January 6th in a statement she gave. What she says, the attorney of the woman who tackled and falsely accused the 14-year-old son of jazz musician Keon Harold of stealing her iPhone that she left in an Uber said Tuesday that the incident wasn't a race-related issue. We'll definitely get into that a little later on. In a phone call, attorney Sharon Gotten, who was representing 22-year-old Miya Ponsetto in an unrelated case, confirmed her client was the woman who lunged at and tackled Keon Harold Jr. in the lobby at the Arlo Soho, an upscale boutique hotel in New York City. Harold, who was black, has suggested that racial bias played a role in the December 26th incident. And see, the only problem they'll have with that is they'll keep saying she's Latina. And in this country, they won't really, you can have a leg to stand on with it, but they're not going to really view it as a race issue when it's Hispanic against black. We only really view it as a racial issue if it's white against black. But see, that's not my issue. My issue is the gynocracy has struck again. Feminism and that movement and the damsel in distress, the so-called Karen, they have struck again. Things took a life of their own, Gatton said. Miya is young. She let her emotions get the best of her. That phone could have been in the hand of a 90-year-old grandma, an Asian person, someone black or blue. Yeah, but it wasn't in the hands of neither. And so you'll see how she said Miya is young. Black men don't get a chance to have that option of, he was young. It's 14-year-old boys being charged as adults. Just for robbery. They in jail for 20, 30 years. Nobody wants to hear that they're young. Gadden said Ponsetto, who lives with her single mother in California, was in the city visiting her father when she lost her phone. She didn't lose her phone. She left it in an Uber. She did not know anyone in the city and was in an emotional, anxious state and made a mistake when she falsely accused Harold's son of theft, according to Gadden. I doubt it. I definitely doubt she made a mistake. She saw a black kid in the lobby and he fit the profile. Like I said, I've told you guys on previous episodes, I believe. I only wear glasses. I need glasses to see, but I don't need to have them on 100% of the time. I really need them on just to read. But me being 6'6", 290, you get a chance to, you watch how people react to you. When I got a fitted hat on and a hoodie with no glasses, you see women walk across the street. You see men walk across the street. I come across as intimidating at that point. With the glasses on, they walk right at you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's a smile on their face, nice weather. The glasses disarm them. It makes me come off as non-threatening to them. But we are stereotyped. The attorney said that had the Uber driver returned her phone 15 minutes earlier, the altercation would not have happened. And there you go again. Everybody's to blame when you're dealing with the gynocracy but them. Everybody's to blame. Now we're blaming the Uber driver. How was it his fault? She left the phone in his car. Ponsetto, who Gatton said had family roots in Puerto Rico, was in a very fragile state, according to Gatton. I keep telling you, they'll play the damsel in distress, man. which is why I always tell men, if your woman smacks you or hits you or push you, just walk out. I don't care if you put a finger on her chest. They will lock you up. She will scream. She will say she felt threatened for her life, and that is it. Party is over. You're going to jail. She lost her mind for a hot minute. She is sorry, Gatton said. Sadly, these poor heroes had to deal with the aftermath. Sadly, these poor Negroes had to deal with the aftermath. It's basically what she's saying. She lost her mind for a hot minute. How many of us black men get a chance to lose our mind for a hot minute? Right, we're demonized as thugs, criminals, toxic masculinity. We get all of the adverbs and adjectives thrown at us. Gatton added that a client wanted to move forward and put this behind her. Of course you want to put it behind her, and that's their next move. They always want to come back after they've done what they've done. They've caused the psychological and emotional damage that they've done. They always want to come back after that, and they want to apologize and say, well, I owned it. I apologized. Why can't we just get back to normal? And if you don't kind of accept the apology on their term and at their pace, then they'll start using different words to irritate you, to kind of make you feel bad and shame you. They'll be like, well, I think you're being a baby about it, or you're being sensitive about it, or you're being a little emotional about it. Yet, like I said, they're always screaming equality. But the second something goes left, they want to be damn sure they let you know, I'm a woman. Treat me different. Gatton added that a client wanted to move forward and put this behind her. She nor her client have been contacted by law enforcement officials or civil rights lawyer Ben Crump. That name go again, boy. That man got filthy rich 2020. Who represents the Hero family. Why am I not surprised? Ponsetto was charged with public intoxication and battery for a Beverly Hills hotel incident on February 28th, which lets you know then this is not the first time. According to court documents, she was also arrested on May 28th for driving under the influence in Van Nuys, California, court documents show. So again, it's not even the second time. Could she have been drunk that morning in the lobby? Probably so. Mimosas and everything. So, like I said, they're able to go ahead, get the hair done, put makeup on, come off as soft, tender. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, and please forgive me. I'm not that type of person. Well, the history shows already public intoxication and battery already at a hotel incident. So this is not even the first hotel. May 28th, arrested for driving under the influence. A hearing for the charges related to the Beverly Hills incident was scheduled this month. Gatton said in September, so she got to go to court for that. In September, a judge at the Van Nuys Courthouse West sentenced Ponsetto to 3 years of summary probation after she pleaded no contest for driving under the influence. So, see, they trying to show you this chick she's trying to portray herself as being innocent. She on probation. And she got another case. She on probation for the driving under the influence, and then we still have to deal with the battery incident. Ponsetto was thrown into the national spotlight when Harold posted a minute-long video of the altercation on Instagram late last year, sparking outrage from social media users who accused Ponsetto of racially discriminating against Harold and his son. That's all she did was racially profile the kid. And as black men, we've dealt with it 1,000 times over. Ponsetto can be heard accosting Harold and his son, yelling, "Show me my phone." Exactly. You got my phone. Listen to what she's saying. She's telling the kid, you got my phone. Not her saying I was looking for my phone, but you got my phone. A man in the video who identified himself as the hotel manager can also be heard asking to see Harold Jr.'s phone. And there you go again. They won't say it was racial profiling, though. They'll just say, no, we didn't do anything wrong. We just thought he had it. Just let the authorities take care of it at that point. And I'll tell you how crazy this is because that's an upscale hotel. So you already knew who the father was. So you got his credit card information on record. Just wait for the authorities to call the authorities and have them deal with it. Because had that boy smacked her or punched her, I promise you, this would have went a totally different way. Before the video cuts out, Ponsetto can be seen approaching Harold, prompting a jazz musician to shout, "Get your hands off." A 10-second video from the hotel security footage captured Ponsetto rushing at and encircling her arms around Harold's son. Police in New York City said Harold sustained scratches to his hand. No other injuries were reported. Keon Harold Jr. will live with this trauma for life. The weight of racism on the shoulders of another generation, Crump wrote in a statement. He deserves better than this treatment. Now, I won't say the weight of racism on the shoulders of another generation, but I won't go as far as to say that. But I don't even get what Benjamin Crump going with that. A spokesperson for the Manhattan DA told NBC News last Monday that the office was thoroughly investigating this incident. At a press conference last Wednesday, Harold, accompanied by Crump and Reverend Al Sharpton, spoke publicly about the incident. Reverend Al again, I always tell you, man, you see Reverend Al and Jesse show up, it's money to be made. They won't show up for nothing else. I can't even come downstairs in New York City, prime New York City, and just go to brunch without being attacked and wrongfully accused of something, Harold said. The idea of trauma goes above any charge that could ever be had. I want my son to grow up whole, Harold said. No black man will ever grow up whole in America. That's just the world we live in. So, as Brian said, we live in two different Americas. That statement has been going on forever. Like I always tell people, you can go back, listen to Marcus Garvey talk, Martin Luther King talk, Frederick Douglass talk, Booker T. Washington talk, Malcolm X talk. We still having the same conversations. People just think the world has changed and evolved because we make more money. But that's just due to inflation, and that's cost of living at this point. But it's not because there's any fairness here. In an interview with Good Morning America last Tuesday, Harold Jr. said he was confused and shell-shocked over the incident, which I'm going to do another video about. I would ask her, why would she do something like this to a kid who has never met you at all? I would just ask just why, he said. So now,
the woman caught on camera physically attacking a black teenager and falsely accusing him of stealing her cell phone has been arrested.
We're going to go to the Gayle King interview with her on CBS this morning. And the gynocracy again is at play. Because I'm going to let you see how Gayle treats her with kid gloves. So just pay attention to how some of this is said.
In California, it happened last night. You might remember this video. Miya Ponsetto approached 14-year-old Keon Harold Jr. at a New York City hotel last month, accusing him of stealing her phone. His father, jazz musician Keon Harold, recorded the encounter and accused Ponsetto of racial profiling.
You see two black people?
No, I'm not letting him walk away with my phone.
Now, the video shows Ponsetto trying to stop the teenager from leaving the hotel lobby and then rushing toward them. Hotel surveillance video shows the 22-year-old woman tackling Keon Jr. Now, he never had the phone. It turned up several minutes later at the hotel. New York City detectives went to California yesterday to coordinate Ponsetto's arrest in connection with the confrontation. She was contacted at a traffic stop in Ventura County near Los Angeles. Detectives went to California yesterday to coordinate Ponsetto's arrest in connection with the confrontation. Never had the phone.
Just right there, you see her tackling him. She tackled the man. Yet the hotel manager or security, nobody wanted to arrest her for assault that day. If a black man tackles a woman like that, I promise you that is it. Going to jail for domestic violence. And they're going to bring up any type of charge you can get put on you at that point. We just can't get away with that. And this is why I tell people when they keep screaming equality, they don't want equality because the rules don't apply on both sides of the coin. Women and men live in two different worlds. Black men are treated as savages in this place, animals. We are the poster child for everything bad in this country. When you talk about thugs, gangbangers, you talking about black men. We the face of it. When you talking about murderers, black men are the face of it. When you talking about sexual assault and rapists, they've made Bill Cosby the face of it. They've made black men the face of that. When you talk about drug crimes, even though we ain't bringing it in here, we the face of drugs in this country. When you talk about deadbeat dads, black men are the face of that. Every negative connotation you can have. When you seeing single black mothers, who do they push the face of that? Oh, yeah, that's black men that want to take responsibility and build a strong family structure.
Only turned up several minutes later at the hotel. New York City detectives went to California yesterday to coordinate Ponsetto's arrest in connection with the confrontation. She was contacted at a traffic stop in Ventura County near Los Angeles. Officials say that police had to pull her out of the car when she refused to get out.
So again, now they just arrested her. Unruly again. The third time. Well, the fourth time now. Because we saw unruly behavior with Keon Harrell. Then she didn't even want to get out the car for the cops. They had to pull out of the car. But like I said, they'll always play damsel in distress, man.
Now, in an exclusive interview, we've just done that interview yesterday afternoon. Her lawyer spoke with us before she was arrested. They told us that NYPD had not yet contacted them. Miya, help me understand. What made you think that Keon had your phone? That's why I'm confused. Why did you think he had it?
I was approaching the people that had been exiting the hotel because in my mind, anybody exiting is probably the one that might be the one that is trying to steal my phone. I admit, yes, I could have approached this.
You can see all the stuttering. She lying her ass off. We don't have, and I won't say that. Maybe she did try and attack or get it from other people, but she physically attacked this guy because he wouldn't show her her phone, which she then said it was her phone. He didn't want to show her his phone, and she kept saying, "Give me my phone." So she just naturally assumed he was a thief. Of course, she was saying questioning, but if you're saying you got my phone, now you're accusing me of stealing your phone.
Situation differently, or maybe not yelled at him like that and made him feel, maybe some sort of inferior way, making him feel as if I was like hurting his feelings.
There you go. Inferior, hurting your feelings. You soft. That's basically what she's saying. You're not a real man for reacting this way. Granny's a 14-year-old child, a child. But you have to look at how they start wording things when it gets to us. And this is now to shame them.
That's not my intention. I consider myself to be super sweet. I really never, ever meant for it to like.
Now, she says she considers herself to be super sweet. Just physically attacked the boy, told him he had your phone, accused him of stealing your phone. You resisted arrest just 2 nights ago when the police came to get you to arrest you for this. You're on probation for driving under the influence, and you're getting ready to go to court later this month for battery and public intoxication. That don't sound like a sweet person to me. But like I said, they'll dress it up. They'll put the glasses on as you see, put the little baseball cap on her, try and make her look as young as possible, play the whole I'm a 22-year-old person, I'm just living life and maturing and all of those things. It's the game the gynocracy plays.
Hurt him or his father either.
Are you saying that you were stopping everybody in the lobby, asking them about your phone? Is that what you're saying?
Not everyone, just the people that.
And just right there, she was going to say just the people who fit the profile. Just the cats with the fitted hats, the hoodies, the mics on, jogging suits, stuff like that. Just guys resembling thugs, murderers, sexual assault, rapists, drug dealers, just the black men. That's all.
In the meantime, while the hotel manager was checking the footage, I just wanted to do my part as best as I could.
You just described yourself as super sweet. I know you've seen the video. When you look at the video, their reaction seems very extreme. It doesn't seem like it's someone who's super
How
sweet.
would you feel if you were alone in New York and you're going to spend time with your family during the holidays and you lose the one thing that gets stolen from you that has all of the access to the only way that you're able to get back home?
I just don't think I would randomly attack people.
How would you feel? How would you feel? Like I said, and just listen again how she plays the damsel in distress. Listen to how she words everything.
Feel if you were alone in New York and you're going to spend time with your family during the holidays and you lose the one thing that gets stolen from you that has all of the access.
And there you go. That's the card they play. I'm alone. I'm a woman. What if somebody attacks me? How am I going to protect myself? That's the game, man. I told you. Whenever they do what they need to do, they're going to cry, bat their eyes, and then they're going to come right back out and say, I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. Yet again, ladies, you keep screaming. We want equality. There's no difference between men and women. But every time you guys get in trouble, you keep wanting to keep stating, no, that I'm a woman. Well, if there's no difference, you don't have to state that. We just be all human beings, right?
The only way that you're able to get back home.
I just don't think I would randomly attack people, is what I'm saying to you. I know you said you could have handled it better, but I just don't think I would randomly attack people in the manner in which you did. What do you think when you look at that video? You're standing there in your leggings and your flip-flops, and it looks like you're just going nuts, for lack of a better word.
No, I'm not letting you walk away with my phone.
I don't feel that is who I.
And there you go again. There she said it. I'm not letting you walk away with my phone. Not gonna let you walk away with my phone. Now she'll say I was just questioning people. But if you're just questioning, it's just, hey, do you see my phone? Did you see a phone? If they say no, that's it. When you say you're not walking away with my phone, now we've gone from questioning people to making accusations now.
I am as a person. I don't feel like this one mistake does define me, but I do sincerely from the bottom of my heart apologize that if I made the son feel as if I assaulted him or if I hurt his feelings or the father's feelings.
I don't believe one mistake defines anybody.
I made the son feel as if I assaulted him or if I hurt his feelings or the father's feelings. One mistake does define me, but I do
And listen, one mistake doesn't define me. And I'll deal with you in another episode, Gail. But I do find it that Gail says she agrees with that. One mistake doesn't define a person, but Kobe wasn't dead no more than 4 days before he was asking Lisa Leslie, do you think him being charged or accused as a rapist tarnishes his legacy? So obviously you do believe one mistake defines you as a person, but we'll deal with that another day. I just want you to listen to the words again of how she describes this boy to basically emasculate him and call him soft again.
as a person, I don't feel like this one mistake does define me, but I do sincerely from the bottom of my heart apologize that if I made the son feel as if I assaulted him or if I hurt his feelings or the father's feelings.
I don't believe.
See, that I hurt his feelings. You're only telling somebody that if you think they're emotionally weak. So I'm sorry if I assaulted him. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. Like this. Yeah, boy.
One mistake defines anybody, but I think when I look at that particular video, you did more than just accuse him. The video seems to show that you physically attacked this young boy. You do see that too, right?
But at the end of the day, the dad did end up like slamming me to the ground and pulling my hair and throwing me and dragging me across the ground. So.
And look at the image she's starting to paint now. Forget the fact that I was beating on a child, his child. He shouldn't have protected his child. His child should be able to defend himself. Now again, like I said, if the roles was reversed, all hell would be breaking loose right now. they would be asking that man to be put under the jail. But she's able to say, oh, yeah, well, I was, doing that. But don't forget his father came and did all this to me and dragged me by my hair again to let you know I'm a woman.
I will say that.
Yeah, but I think, the video we saw, it looked like you had just attacked his son.
Yeah, the footage shows me attacking his son. Of attacking him how? Yelling at him? Yes. Okay, I apologize. Can we move on?
See, didn't even acknowledge that she had grabbed him. And it was just like Rick James on the Dave Chappelle show. Yeah, drugs. I ain't never do drugs. Yeah, cocaine is a hell of a drug. That's her right there. Listen to it.
That was me attacking his son. Of attacking him how? Yelling at him? Yes. Okay, I apologize. Can we move on?
I know you.
Not physically assaulting him, no. And I don't even know if she knows everyone has seen that. Or if her lawyers know that CBS had that footage. I guess it would be no need to kind of lie like that. But that also lets you know what type of person she is. And there it goes again, like I told you earlier. Let's just apologize and move on now. I said I'm sorry, get over it. We can't never apologize and get out of that situation. Whether you apologize or not, you're deemed as whatever it is that happened. I wish it was that simple for a black man to just say, yo, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Can we move on?
You're saying I don't need to, I just want to apologize, but I do think that there should be some context to your actions that day.
Okay, so basically, I'm a 22-year-old girl. Racism how is one girl accusing a guy about a phone a crime?
And right there, she still doesn't get it. And listen to it again. I'm a 22-year-old girl. Now, any other time when they get 18, I'm a woman. When they're 16, they tell you they're a young woman. But to get out of this situation, I'm a 22-year-old girl.
Where is the context in that?
Mia,
What is the deeper
Mia,
story
it's
here?
not, that's not the problem. You have to at least understand your actions that day. You seem to have attacked this little boy, this young boy, this teenager. You seem to have attacked this teenager about the phone. And then it turned out he didn't even have your phone. That's the thing. I mean, you're saying, look, I'm 22 years old. You're 22 years old, but you are old enough to know better. So I will say you're 22.
Enough. The hotel did have my phone. The hotel did end up having my phone. I did get my belongings returned to me.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Great, Gail.
Enough.
So now we go back.
Better. So I will say you're 22. I'm 22 years old. You're 22 years old, but you're about the phone. And then it turned out he didn't even have this little boy, this young boy, this teenager. You seem to have attacked this teenager about the phone. And then it turned out he didn't even have your phone. That's the thing. I mean, you're saying, look,
I'm a girl accusing
This is what I want to get back to.
a guy about a phone a crime. Where is the context in that?
Mia,
What is the deeper
Mia,
story
it's
here?
not. That's not the problem. You have to at least
And right there is where we get ready to transition again. Because that's Gail telling you that it's not the problem either. And that accusing him of it isn't really an issue. So let's go to the Montana Innocence Project. Since accusing is not a problem, maybe we should bring up the name Emmett Till, the 14-year-old young boy from Chicago who was murdered in Mississippi after Carol and Brian, a white woman, claimed he flirted with her. He whistled at her. Brian later recanted her story in the 2017 book, The Blood of Emmett Till by Timothy B. Tyson, but the result of her uncorroborated claim, the murder of a black teenager and the severe mutilation of his body, demonstrates the power of false allegation against him. Ideally, our society would have learned this lesson by 2020, but baseless claims against BIPOC, namely allegations of Black men perpetuating violence, are still met with presumptions of guilt. Currently, more than half of all wrongful convictions can be traced back to a false allegation or false testimony. Because Black people represent nearly half of all exonerations, the burden of false allegation falls disproportionately on them. Today, we will explore the prevalence of false allegations of Black men perpetrating violence, but false allegations of all kinds permeate our criminal justice system and cause wrongful convictions regularly. So yes, Gail, yes, Mia, that is an issue. I'm going to tell them there's an African American man threatening my life. One of the first episodes I did was, what was it, back in May, when we did the Christian Cooper. When in May, a Black man named Christian Cooper was bird watching in Central Park and asked a white woman named Amy Cooper, not related to leash her dog in accordance with park rules. Amy Cooper proceeded to call the police and accused Christian Cooper of threatening her life. Now again, if he didn't have that phone, we all know what would have happened. Now, like I told you guys in that episode, he had no business being over there offering her dog a treat. And I probably would have reacted the same way. But, at that point, that's not the issue, really, what we're going with here. But it's just her calling and lying on him at that point. Luckily, in this case, Christian Cooper recorded the entire interaction and posted it on social media. Therefore, public pressure ensured that authorities and even Amy Cooper's employer responded appropriately. But the fact that Amy Cooper made the false allegation so confidently while knowingly being recorded is indicative that false allegations are still barriers to innocence. Especially when there is no evidence to prove falsehood. When there's no video to refute a 911 call where someone sounds hysterical, the Manhattan DA's office will use that as evidence and say, listen to the fear in her voice. Man, these people steady trying to interrupt me. They know I'm recording right now. You can tell how upset she was. How could she be lying? And oftentimes, this is something that could be fabricated, and we have to take that into consideration. So again, false accusations, but like me and Gail said, that's not really the issue. And that's Gail on code with the feminist movement. That's why she said, yes, that isn't the issue. Brian Banks. As Orleans mentioned, when it's a he said, she said type of case, false allegations have more power. This was the case for Brian Banks in Long Beach, California in 2002. At 17 years old, Banks was a football star bound for USC, and that's when USC was booming back then with Reggie Bush and all of them. On a full ride scholarship when his life was uprooted by his classmate, Winnetta Gibson. Gibson and Banks had a consensual sexual encounter in a stairwell at Long Beach Polytechnic High School. Later that day, Gibson told authorities that Banks kidnapped and raped her. Facing 41 years to life in prison, Banks accepted a plea deal of 6 years incarceration and a lifetime as a registered sex offender, which is what Black men have to do when we face this legal system. Is we understand we're really not being, those are not our peers. Even though they're getting ready to tell you like to be judged by your peers, those are not Black men peers. I tell Black men all the time, if you go to court, you better off getting a bench trial, man. Push for a bench trial. Because the judge has to follow the book. When you start dealing with a jury of your peers, you have to understand the majority of Black women are feminists. They are feminists and they're women first. They're not Black first. I know they love to tell you that. But you have to understand They are feminists and they are women first. They're going to ride with that first. A lot of men I know have started to come around and understand. They come back to me now and they say, yo, I can't believe my girl and my mother relationship tighter than mine, or my mother side with my girl a lot. And she said, I can understand the situation. And I tell them, hey, I've been through it already. I've been through the situation of my mother saying she could relate to my ex-wife because she was a single mother. And in my head thinking, yeah, but your grandchild is with everybody. She's not a single mother. But somewhere in that world, those gears, man, they rusty, dog. They ain't lubed up correctly, man. They just don't move and rotate the way they used to. But let's get back to it. Banks had to make this unimaginable decision because the idea that he kidnapped and raped Gibson was instantly accepted as truth. In fact, he was booked in jail just hours after Gibson made the false allegation. And what did I just tell you? Had she been the one to say he did that, and that footage would have got to the police, and ain't no way it would have took this long, 3 weeks for him to get arrested. He would have been in jail that night. And it's why I always tell people, just because somebody in jail don't make them guilty. It's why I'm not a fan of capital punishment. Capital murder. When you start talking the death penalty, I have to be able to say I trust the system to know the right man is dying in there. And we know that's not the case. We know there are men who died on death row who were innocent. But that's the game that's being played. And they'll say they don't understand that's the game being played, but they love to keep doing this. As we saw, like I said, with Amy Cooper, when she was just like, there's a black guy. He's on his way to get me. Someone please help, hurry. And it's like, you wasn't in any danger. The dog may have been if he poisoned one of those streets, but you wasn't in any danger. 10 years later, when Banks was no longer incarcerated, but still facing daily challenges as a registered sex offender, Gibson recanted her allegation and admitted that she fabricated the story. Following the recantation, Banks was exonerated with the help of the California Innocence Project in 2012. He signed with the Atlanta Falcons in 2013 and now works in the NFL's Department of Operations, but his life is forever altered by Gibson's lie and the criminal justice system's willingness to act on her lie without evidence. And again, all just because of false accusation, which Gail and Miya keep saying, what's the big deal? It's not a crime. And even then, you have to understand, they took Brian Banks' life from him. We don't know what he could have been. Some thought he had the potential to be one of the greatest linebackers to ever play, but to go have to spend 6 years in jail, you don't get a chance now. You come out of jail, college is done. We don't have 4 years to max up to go to college. Even though he probably could have went to college, we don't have 4 years now to waste. Because at that point, now we're 30 years old. Your prime is over. So when we get out of jail, we have to instantly go trial for them. That's it. And all of that time was taken away because somebody wanted to say, yo, I was raped. That's what a false accusation to get you, Gail, for a black man. Miya, that's what a false accusation to get you. Let's go to any 4 black men will do. 1 year before Brian Banks was falsely accused, Iowa State University student Katie Robb reported that 4 black men kidnapped her at gunpoint and took her to a wooded area to rape her. The allegation was front page news the next morning, which it usually is, which is why I said we don't live in the same world. Women love to think we do. Black women love to think they understand the struggle that black men go through here in this country, but they just won't. They'll never understand it. The allegation was front page news. The next morning, a search for any 4 black men driving a sedan ensued. 2 days later, Katie Robb admitted that she lied. If any 4 black men driving a sedan were found, who knows what the outcome would have been for them. History tells us that it likely would have been 4 wrongful convictions. Reuben Carter, whose wrongful conviction story is famously told in the Bob Dylan song Hurricane. Exactly. It's all you need. And it's why I tell people, you put me on jury duty, if you're not showing me physical evidence and I can literally see somebody did the crime, it's going to be hard for me to put them in jail. Because all we asking, to be honest with you, when we saying a jury trial, who has the best narrative? Who tells the best story? Whose story is more convincing? I can't put somebody in jail for 10, 15, 20 years, hell, even 5 years, a year, and put somebody in jail because your story sounds best. Is either you have proof that he did it, or you don't. And if you don't have proof that he did it, not a story, you don't have proof that he did it, then yeah, I'm not putting somebody in jail. Hurricane was initially arrested because he was driving a similar car to one witnessed driving away from a murder scene. Tracy Owens Patton and Julie Cinder-Ulu, the authors of Any Four Black Men Will Do, Rape, Race, and the Ultimate Scapegoat, a study that examines institutional responses to the Iowa State case, argued that false allegations against Black men are upheld by a desire to protect the historically based stereotypes that inform modern day hierarchies. I just told you that. We just started that out. Thugs, rapists, murderers, drug dealers, deadbeat dads. Yeah, they done made us the face of the HIV epidemic. Anything that they want to put a negative connotation on, you don't really ever hear them say down low men or white men. When they say down low men, they're talking about black men. Anything negative in this country is black men. And I wish people really understood like what's going on here, man. Institutions such as the media, universities, and campus police sanctify white patriarchal hegemonic hierarchies when investigating the truth is set aside in favor of the status quo, they wrote. The study describes black men as the ultimate scapegoat for those who aim to protect this hierarchy. Like I said, man, but you know, they'll go back to Malcolm saying she's the most disrespected woman on earth and treated the worst. Not even close. Not even close. They just don't have, black women don't have to deal with what black men have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And I can tell you that. So then what they'll do, they've started to join into the feminist movement and they've made white women's problem there so they can have more to complain about and say, look, this is what we deal with. No, you don't deal with that. White women may deal with that. You don't deal with that. That's not your issue. We don't own anything to oppress you or suppress your feelings. Black men don't have that type of power. But we get shitted on like we do. Rob's falsification fed into the national mythology of black male violence that indirectly justifies the policing of the hyper-visible other to protect white majority, they wrote. Why are these allegations so powerful? False allegations, particularly about black men being rapists, have been reinforced over and over again in our history. While shameful America embraced the allegation a century ago and America embraces the allegation today, it is imperative to know that the allegation is rooted in history to fully understand how ingrained it truly is in our society. And it's like I said, I keep telling you, every negative connotation when it comes to criminals, black men are just about the face of it. Whether it's a woman in Michigan falsely claiming that a group of black men kidnapped, beat, and raped her, another woman claiming a black man kidnapped her 3-year-old and 14-month-old sons, whom she actually killed. We didn't get into that story. The infamous Amanda Cox accusing a black man of the heinous murder she was initially convicted of, or even a man claiming that black men stabbed his wife to death, whom he actually killed. Martenzie Johnson wrote an article for The Undefeated. In each instance, the initial story was believable because of the troubling belief that a black man is capable of such a thing. It's because we've always been told this is what black men do. Exactly. We're monsters. We're the boogeymen. This is what they tell you. And I had to tell people this, just having a debate about this the other day when they were saying, someone was having a conversation with me and they were saying, no, black women are portrayed in a different light than black men, even in films. Now I had to take them back to the Matrix and say, who was the Oracle? If that don't tell you, nothing will. Johnson draws the connection between modern day attitudes about black men perpetrating violence to the abhorrent film The Birth of a Nation. The film, which was screened at the White House in 1915, celebrates the Ku Klux Klan as heroes after a white man jumps off a cliff to avoid the risk of being raped by a black man. The Birth of a Nation is a necessary part of American history to discuss because it systemized the idea that black men are violent rapists, which is why I keep telling people when they keep saying Gail and Oprah and all of them are for black men, and they not, man. They feminists. And feminists move to a different agenda. They're not about the nuclear family. They're just about women empowerment. And they don't care what man takes the brunt of. They don't care if their own son. They'll sacrifice their own son for it. So again, it was screened at the White House for a viewing by our country's leaders. Although that was over 100 years ago, the film's message is still ingrained in our society and in our justice system. In fact, we embrace the film's message every time we meet false allegations with unwavering support for the accuser and extremely animosity for the accused before there is a guilt verdict. Which is, I always tell people that when a woman comes out and says, yo, he raped me, she's initially the victim, just like that. Not the alleged victim or anything. She's just the victim, just like that, man. So you can't really tell me we live in a country where you're saying it's equality and all these things, and the second someone makes an accusation, is, well, she's the victim. It is because of that. It is because of this that people like Carolyn Bryant, Amy Cooper, and Juanetta Gibson are able to lie with so much confidence. They know people will believe them if they point the finger at a black man, because that has been the case for hundreds of years. The Birth of a Nation is not the only thing that cemented the stereotype about black men in our country's collective consciousness, but it certainly set the stage for future perpetuations of the stereotype in media. Important note, you can oppose false allegations while also supporting victims of sexual violence. It is important to support people when they're brave enough to accuse someone of a crime like rape or sexual assault, which it is. But we should also always understand there's two sides to every story. So it's always best to sit tight and keep your mouth shut and tell the facts out. And rape is the hardest thing in the world to prove. But it is also important to support someone's right to be presumed legally innocent, which this country is based on, until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You can do both at the same time. One does not negate the other. So, in conclusion, Gail, Miya, that accusation is life-altering, and it's a life-altering crime for black men. Emmett Till lost his life. There are plenty of black men who lost their lives. There are plenty of black men in jail for allegedly raping a white woman just because she decided to cry rape. So whenever you make that accusation, a black man has to now fight double hard to beat those accusations. So be mindful of that, Miya. Since you're 22 and you're still a young girl, Gail, you already know what time it is. You ain't worth my time, really, but I know what your game plan is already. It's your boy, the Hood Nerd, signing out.